Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's just gonna be one of those criticism videos today because we haven't had one in a very long time, and what I want to talk about today is pretty important to me. Nothing's gonna be on screen; it's just really gonna be me talking. So if you just want to throw this in the back and listen to it while I talk and tell you my opinions on things on Master Duel, that's cool because you're not really missing much by looking at the screen. Let's talk about esports and Master Duel. So for those that are into just Master Duel, you may not know this, but those who are more into Yu-Gi-Oh at large, this is kind of the most kind of competitive times, at least from a Konami perspective of Yu-Gi-Oh, with all of their Yu-Gi-Oh properties. You know, you've got Duel Links just had KCGT qualifiers, and from here all the way to August, you know, we're gonna have the knockout rounds, we're gonna have the top cut, and you know, it's gonna be a big deal for all Duel Links players, because it's a shot at Worlds, you know what I mean? You also have TCG. You know, we had the mini Worlds events, the national events that just happened all over the world, and of course they have Worlds, overall Worlds as well. My basic point is there is nothing on the esports side of Master Duel going on right now. It is all the other properties of Yu-Gi-Oh that are having, you know, not necessarily esports events, but competitive Konami endorsed events, which give that level of legitimacy to you know, them being called. If someone were to come up and say, oh, you know, the esports part of Duel Links is Worlds, right? There's like, you can say that because that's like a thing. They're going to win a prize card off of that, right? They're going to win clout off of that. They're going to be able to sell that card for thousands and thousands of dollars, you know, at no point. And it was just kind of, I was just thinking the other day, I was actually thinking out loud on stream. I was like, damn, right now, Duel Links is considered the more competitive game because you have a path to the World's Championship through Duel Links and not through Master Duel, which Master Duel, you know, in the past, Konami has said they are building Master Duel from the ground up to be an esport. Specifically, their words, not mine. They wanted this game to be an esport. And this game is not built to be an esport whatsoever. It is extremely boring to watch Master Duel live games. As someone whose the primary content is those tournaments, the Duel Links tournaments and the Master Duel tournaments, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, even the people who are super invested into the Master Duel streams, even when we have new deck tournaments for Master Duel streams, the actual duels themselves are extremely boring, and there are a few reasons for that, and I just kind of wanted to go through and talk about them one by one, and maybe we can come to, you know, obviously I can't start an esports scene because it's all up to Konami to do that. Konami is the one making the game. They're the ones that have to create the scene. I can only be there, you know, from a community perspective where people can go and practice their games and whatnot in a third party community type style. I'll never actually start an esports scene without some official endorsed tournament. It's just not going to happen. Maybe with it, but without it, nah. So first and foremost, the game is very slow, right? It's not like, you know, Duel Links. And Duel Links, by the time one best of 3 finishes in Master Duel, you know, you could have gone through like 10 games in Duel Links, right? So the first and foremost, way too long of a game for it to be live spectate friendly. And that's a big thing. People want to watch live games. They don't necessarily want to watch replays over and over and over, unless you can make those replays really exciting. Now, that being said, I actually think watching replays of Master Duel duels isn't too bad. If you see a really cool matchup, toss it up on screen and watch the replay where you can fast forward through some of the more common plays. Like, you know, we don't need to see Hulk into Auroradon for the 8th time that night. You know, you're able to kind of get more out of the experience of watching Master Duel. The problem with that is in Master Duel, if the creator of the room leaves the room's gone. That's it. You can't go into the replays anymore. So it's not in, for example, in Duel Links, as long as a person is in the room, you can save the room to watch the replays. But in Master Duel, if the creator of the room leaves, boom, the whole room is disbanded, and no one can watch the replays at that point. Because if right now all they have to do to make it at least a little interesting to watch, round games would be to have the ability to have someone sit in the room and hold the spectate itself, because that would cut out a lot of dead space, especially when the combos themselves are already so long and kind of boring to watch. You don't want to watch a player think, you know what I mean? It's not so much fun for them to just sit down and think for a minute or two straight, and then the caster has to stand there and just fill that dead air with really nothing, right? Because these decks that we're seeing in the game, it's not a very diverse meta, unfortunately, in Master Duel. There's only so many options you could talk about. This person has this option or this combo. There's not a whole lot that you can talk about to fill those 2 minutes without people starting to see some level of repetition. And then you have to start talking about, a lot of Master Duel streamers, they'll start talking about things outside of Master Duel. And that's when, people start to slowly lose interest in whatever's going on screen and would rather just interact with the streamer because they're having more fun talking to you rather than watching the game, which, obviously in a tournament setting, you would prefer that the person be at least interested in what's going on in the screen. So that would definitely help a lot, being able to fast forward through some of the more dead parts. So if we actually had the ability to, I would say a really cool thing would be if after someone left or everyone left the room, that room stays open for like an hour, and anyone can come in and spectate the games. And that would be a really good way to kind of promote more fun duels. That way you just never watch a live duel, you'd always watch the replay duels and kind of go from there. Again, people don't want to watch replays, but I think people would rather watch replays than the live duels in Master Duel because there's so much dead air. Beyond that, animations like the ritual summon animation, the fusion summon, the chain links resolving, all of those need to have like a speed up option, right? From a spectating perspective, you kind of want those, as like animation cues for the spectators, right? You don't want them to just fly by like an EDO Pro or Yugioh Omega, etc., 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 because it gives way for a less enjoyable viewing experience, right? It's more of an efficiency thing rather than a viewing thing. So I don't want to outright cancel those animations. I need them to go by faster, so people know what's going on. They're able to stay engaged, and they'd be able to, just kind of follow along when you're explaining things to them. And then of course, a BO3 mode in Master Duel, a lot of people are like, oh, we need a BO3 ranked queue. That's not what we want. We want a BO3 mode, so that when you go to duel someone, you can just literally submit all your cards, play the BO3, side deck happens automatically with an in-game timer that ticks down, etc., etc., etc. The game is not built for esports right now because it just isn't, right? And if they decide to do best of one esports, which they could, that's completely on them. That's fine. I'm not going to complain about that. But what I will complain about is their ban list choices, right? The current ban list does not scream I'm balanced for best of one. It screams I'm balanced for best of three. And we don't know, right? We ultimately don't know what they plan on doing with the esports section or the competitive format, because we haven't had a KC Cup, we haven't had a Worlds, we haven't had a Master Duel YCS, we haven't had anything from Konami to even guess at what's going on. Right now, I can tell you exactly what's competitive in Duel Links because I know what the KC Cup format is, and then I know what the knockout bracket of KCGT, the final bracket, will look like. The multiple decks that you have to carry, so it's not like a best of three with side deck, it's a best of three with whole new ass decks, and maybe that's what they want to do with Master Duel. Maybe they want you to carry more than one deck, to potentially, be in a single elimination tournament rather than a Swiss tournament or something like that. We don't know, and that's what's kind of been frustrating from the people who have been wanting esports competition out of Master Duel. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had for esports. Konami lied, boys. I don't know. This year, we're already in the middle of esports of Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, we're already having worlds coming up by August. I just don't see them being able to fit an event, or you know, be able to invite people or even set up some sort of tournament mode between now and August that would you know, satisfy world's condition. They don't usually do any sort of high competition later on. So chances are we're going to have to wait until next year for any sort of esports related, you know, Konami Yu-Gi-Oh content. And I think, I don't know, I don't really, that doesn't really sit well with me, because I had a lot of high hopes from the esports scene from this game. I really thought this game would be the one to bring Yu-Gi-Oh esports to the forefront as being kind of, you know, one of the big boys to watch, you know? So that's really all I have. You guys let me know what you think about all this down in the comment below. I know a lot of people may not even care about the esports side of Yu-Gi-Oh, but it is personally my favorite. So even tell me how it is from the perspective of a viewer. I told you how it is from the perspective of someone who's casting and organizing, you know, tournaments. What about a viewer? You know, from the most I've heard, people just honestly don't enjoy watching Master Duel. They're really only there to watch me, you know, interact with me rather than the game. But you guys let me know what you think. Comment down below, like, comment, subscribe. You know how it helps us out with the algorithm. Konami, get your shit together, fam. Let's go.